You've heard it a million times, right? For decades, people have been drawing lines in the sand. Sure, AI can do that, but it'll never be able to, fill in the blank. Real reasoning, genuine creativity, understanding human language. The list of nevers just goes on and on.
Well, you can probably guess what almost all those predictions have in common. Yeah, they were flat out wrong. Time and again, betting against AI has just been a losing game. So today, we're going to look at the limits AI has already blown past, the battles it's fighting right now, and the huge ultimate frontiers that are still way out there on the horizon.
Okay, so to really get a handle on intelligence, whether it's ours or a machine's, it really helps to think about it like this pyramid. Right at the bottom, you've got raw, disconnected facts. That's data. Give that data some context, and boom, it becomes information. Once you can interpret that information and see the patterns, you've got knowledge. And then, at the very, very top, when you can apply that knowledge with judgment and foresight, that's wisdom. Every form of intelligence has to climb these steps.
So, let's start by jumping in our time machine and looking back. Let's talk about all those impossible challenges that, are now sitting firmly in AI's rearview mirror. These are the milestones people seriously thought we'd never see. First up, complex strategic reasoning. For ages, the game of chess was held up as the pinnacle of human intellect. It was supposed to be this uniquely human thing. But then, 1997 happened. IBM's Deep Blue didn't just play against the world champion Garry Kasparov, it beat him. That was it. That barrier was officially shattered. All right, next up with language. And I don't just mean simple commands, I mean real, messy, human language, with all its sarcasm, its puns, its hidden meanings. A show like Jeopardy is absolutely full of that stuff. And in 2011, IBM's Watson didn't just show up to play, it dominated. It got the puns, it understood the wordplay, and really, the chatbots we all use today are standing on Watson's shoulders, having conversations that feel, almost human.
And what about the big one, creativity? For the longest time, the argument was that AI could only analyze and copy, never create something truly new. But, just look around now. Generative AI is creating stunning art, writing music, all by digesting massive amounts of data. But hang on a second, isn't that kind of what human artists do? We're all influenced by the art, music, and stories we've experienced. So when an AI does it, is it really all that different?
And finally, there's the whole idea of perceiving and reacting to the world in real time. This used to be pure science fiction, the stuff of movies. Now it's on our streets every day. A self-driving car is basically a robot on wheels, constantly seeing pedestrians, reading traffic lights, tracking other cars, and making thousands of split-second decisions. Just another impossible limit, passed. So, with all those massive challenges conquered, what's the fight about today? Let's shift gears and talk about the current battleground, the really tough problems that AI researchers are wrestling with right now. I'm sure you've heard this word thrown around, hallucination. It's easily one of the biggest headaches with today's large language models. It's when an AI just makes stuff up, but states it with absolute confidence. It might invent a historical fact, or cite a legal case that just doesn't exist. It's basically presenting fiction as fact, and, as you can imagine, fixing this is a huge priority.
Now the good news is, people aren't just shrugging their shoulders, they're developing some really clever ways to fight this. One of the big ones is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. The easiest way to think about it is like giving the AI an open book test. Instead of just relying on what it's memorized, it's forced to look up the facts from a trusted source before it gives you an answer. This helps keep its responses grounded in reality. The problem's not totally solved yet, but the path forward is getting clearer.
And then there's this idea of emotional intelligence, EQ. Look, modern AI can get pretty good at simulating empathy. It can analyze text and respond in a way that seems understanding. But here's the question. Is it actually feeling anything? Or is it just getting really, really good at pattern matching our emotional cues? Right now, it's all simulation, not sensation. So achieving real EQ, that's still a major work in progress. Okay, so now let's zoom out, way out, to the biggest, most fundamental questions in AI. We're moving beyond just engineering problems now and into the realm of philosophy. These are the ultimate challenges.
This is the big one. The search for artificial general intelligence, AGI. We're not talking about an AI that's a genius at chess or writing code. We're talking about a single system that is just as smart, creative, and capable as a human across every single domain, from doing quantum physics to comforting a friend. We are definitely not there.
And that leads to an even deeper and frankly weirder question.
Could a machine ever be self-aware? Could it have consciousness? An actual internal subjective experience of being alive. This is a mind-bending mystery that we don't even fully understand in ourselves, which makes it maybe the hardest question of them all.
Hey, remember that pyramid from the beginning? Data, information, knowledge? Well, AI has pretty much nailed those bottom layers. But this slide, this is all about that tiny peak at the very top, wisdom. We're talking about real judgment, about ethics, about plain old common sense. The ability to apply knowledge in a smart, nuanced, and principled way. This is still a massive limitation for every AI system out there.
So here's a quick recap of those final frontiers. And what's interesting is how they range from the super philosophical, like consciousness, to the incredibly practical, like sustainability. I mean, let's be real. These systems use a staggering amount of energy. Solving these challenges isn't just about writing better code, it's going to take huge breakthroughs in a bunch of different fields.
So, with all that said, what does it mean for us? Where do we fit in? Well, the future probably isn't about humans versus AI. It's much more likely to be about a partnership. And for any good partnership to work, you have to know who's doing what.
And this, right here, is the crucial part. The partnership works best when we divide the labor like this. Our job as humans is to provide the what and the why. We set the direction, we define the purpose, the goals, the meaning behind the work. The AI's role, it's to figure out the how. It handles the execution, the optimization, the automation, all the things it can do thousands of times faster than we ever could. We provide the vision, it provides the velocity.
So, we've seen AI go from a chess-playing machine to an artist, from something in science fiction to a tool in our daily lives. And while these massive challenges absolutely remain, from the deeply philosophical to the seriously practical, history has taught us one lesson very, very clearly. Every time someone confidently stood up and declared what AI would never do, they were proven wrong. So when we look at the limits of today and the frontiers of tomorrow, the takeaway is pretty simple. Don't bet against AI.